Welcome, dear friends, to Cardiac Radio at 11 p.m., nourishing our souls with the spirit of truth. Every program at Cardiac Radio with all of our hosts is always a true nourishment, and ours is in the same range. We're all together as a team, sharing with you what nourish our souls. When we discovered this book, The Spirit of Truth, em Português, O Espírito da Verdade, we were deeply touched, always impressed that Chico Xavier had another book to share with us, another food for the soul. And we need nourishment. You and I potentially have a few meals a day to sustain the health of the body. What about spiritually? What does nourish our souls? Here comes the very messages of the good. They are true nourishment, messages of love, of truth. It really sets us free from problems, from worries, doubts, because it explains to us the ins and outs of life. You and I are living on earth, and it still requires labor, work. Many people don't like it because they feel like, oh my gosh, I have to wash the dishes every day. I have to clean the house every day. I have to do the laundry every day. And I'm just saying this every day, quote unquote, fictitiously, right? Oh, I have to repeat the same tasks every day. Why? Andre Luiz today is going to tell us why. He, the spirit doctor from the book No Solar and many others, comes now through two mediums, Waldo Vieira and Chico Xavier, and explains to us as a pleading of the hands to us, as if our hands, instruments of God, are talking to us. Do you listen to your body? Do you find the purpose of each and every part of your body? We need to investigate. We need to seek the truth. In the Gospel according to Spiritism, there's a particular item that inspired Andre Luiz to write the message that he's going to tell us today. It is chapter 25, item 3. Chapter 25 of the Gospel according to Spiritism by Kardec talks about seek and you shall find. This is a statement by Jesus. But Kardec explains, if God had exempted humans from bodily work, their limbs would have atrophied. If God had exempted them from intellectual labor, their spirit would have remained in childhood, in the state of animal instinct. That is why God made labor a necessity and said to them, seek and you shall find, labor and you shall produce. In this way, you'll be the children of your deeds. You'll derive merit from them, and you'll be recompensed according to what you have done. Some people think childishly that we're going to seek like the book, The Secret, right? Oh, you meditate, you visualize, you create a panel with all your wishes and it's going to come true. No, it's not enough. It's an illusion because it's not that linear. Oh, I aim at it every day and I'm going to get it. Of course, thought is life. You and I know that we have that power, but it doesn't necessarily happen that way. Why? because we don't know what's best for us. In the long run of immortality, let me take this ruler as an example. We have a beginning when we were created by God, but we have no end. It goes on and on and on and on into the infinite. Let's say we're here now, but we have inherited everything we've done before. That is going to impact in our lives. Open the book 2000 years ago. Aurelia, one of the true characters in this book, she feels this strong passion towards Plinio. But he's married, and he wanted to be married at first with her cousin. And she wants him no matter what. She then gets married. He gets married to her cousin. And she's still focused on, he's going to be my man. He's going to be my man. He's going to be my man. She goes visit a medium, and the medium says, you can't. In previous lives, out of your own whim, you wanted him, but he doesn't belong to you. He belongs to her. And it's not for you. And what you think is love is actually pure passion and whim. And if you insist, tragedies will happen. And when you read the book, you see, and I'm not going to spoil it because the book is much more than that, but it's worthwhile reading it. You see that she finds a way to take the man out of her cousin, and she travels with him, is with him, but at some point she starts cheating on him. So the medium was right. It was pure whim, passion, ego. We don't know what's best for us yet, but God knows. Sometimes we want things that we think is best, and God is saying, wrong. That's not the best for you. So, what is best for us? One thing we know, the use of the resources that God grants to us. Our physical body, the main asset. Today, for everyone and anyone who thinks that things are going to come just like in a snap or in a wish, as a miracle, Kardec says to us, we need to labor it. We need to work on it. We need to make an effort. And today, Andre Luiz is going to crown that teaching by Kardec with the message, pleading of the hands. And Andre Luiz is so practical that he itemizes the message in 10 items. It's as if we are hearing our hands talking to us. It's a good exercise for body awareness and for acceptance of this reincarnation, which is vital to succeed. Many people on earth do not accept their reincarnation. They are rebellious. And here comes the first item. The hands talking to us. We were born with you to carry out your task. Do not leave us unoccupied. Love work. The hands asks us to work. They are the instrument. I know people who have several instruments, never use it. But we have our hands and usually we don't use it. We could use by cleaning our house, by painting, doing crafts, by playing a music, and we don't. We prefer to watch TV, to do this and then the other. Watching here Kardec Radio is not a waste. That's a sure thing. But we can certainly knit, right? Do crochet, paint, I have this habit, and I share with you, when I'm watching a spiritist program, I bring a um, drawing book, and with color pencils, I start drawing. I draw flowers while I'm watching and listening. Not that I am distracted, but I feel myself fully into it, and that's a technique for me to feel I am more focused, more in the moment, and my body's accompanying me in that effort. When we open the Spirit's book by Kardec, we learn in the love work, which is in the third part of the Spirit's book, that as soon as we adore God and worship God, which is law, we need to express it in being useful. Spiritism redefines work as in every useful occupation in our lives. Our hands are ready to be occupied, and that's what they are for. I know people who tell me, don't do too much um, work with your hands because it's gonna make it rougher. But I don't want to die with a smooth hand. You know why? Because I don't want to die, discarnate, knowing that I'm not using my hands. Well, if I need to use my hands, it's gonna make it tougher, rougher. Well, I can use creams. And if that doesn't suffice, I'll be happy to know that these are signs, marks of work. There are people who pride themselves in saying, I've never done any manual labor. Pride. Pride that can be easily shifted in a reincarnation of greater simplicity, like Publius Lentulus, the senator, when he reincarnated 50 years later, and you can read it in the next book, 50 years later, he reincarnated as a slave. It's our option. Number 2, avoid using us. This is the hand telling. Avoid using the hands in inappropriate food and drinks. Do not oblige us to impose suicide on you. So Andre Luiz is explaining, since the book No Solar, that eating food that is not healthy is indirect suicide. That drinking alcoholic beverages is indirect suicide. You may not be conscious of it, but it's true. 3, do not complain about the world. We can really, the hands are saying, we cannot really catch stars, but we can plant flowers. What is he saying? If we think the world is not happy, satisfying, let us build it, co-create it with our own hands. Instead of sitting down and saying, oh, everything's so terrible, what am I doing to make it better? Yes. Heal the world. Make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. Right? And Michael Jackson was right. We needed to do our share. Andre Luiz comes and says, build it, plant flowers. And if that's the season, great. If not, bring it in your home. Create your own garden inside of your home. 4, it is possible that you may need to extend us, the hands, a few times to ask for something. But first, let us get to work so that we can deserve it. Why is he saying this? Because usually we take shortcuts. Instead of our children do this, right? And we have to remind them, stand up and get your snack. Stand up, get your water. Stand up, walk with your feet and your hands to get the fork and the knife that you need as well. It's okay to ask for help as long as we're doing our share. Laziness, inertia is so detrimental to us. We see many cases of people who indulged in inertia being reborn paralyzed because they didn't move the forces of their soul. The perispirit is in atrophy. Now it needs to reincarnate to build itself up again. Reincarnation is a blessing in that regard, to rebuild with the new body, the new structure for us. Number 5, you refer to the genius of the brain. But without us, the hands, the Eiffel Tower in Paris would be on the paperwork, on the blueprint. And Beethoven's symphonies would be nothing more than a dream. So we need to work physically. What a blessing it is. And not forgetting that there are people who want to use their hands, they can't. They can't because they are not born with them, or they can't move them for some reason. So let us bless the fact that we can use it and use it for good purposes. Number 6, you are proud of many machines, but without our cooperation, the cooperation of the hands, machines would be useless. I remember many decades ago the discussion of many people when computers were becoming personal, when cell phones were coming along, and people saying, oh my gosh, people are going to be out of their jobs. Look at it now. Thanks to technology, to machines, we have more jobs than we've ever had in the world. And yet, we need people to manage, to put it all together, to bring, to deliver to people, etc., etc. Hands. The other day, I was watching a program with my daughter, Virginia. It was a program on YouTube. She said, Mom, look at this. This woman has a machine. As we watch a baking show, and the friend of this woman, she is a YouTuber, famous one, with millions of followers. And all she does is open boxes and talk about the things that she has. So they were in her house, and she could, in the click of a button in her phone, make her coffee in the coffee maker downstairs. And anything she would do in her home, there were apps in the phone that she could just push a button. It's very interesting. Of course, the advancements of technology come because we no longer need to extenuate ourselves. And yet, we still need to do other things. Maybe I no longer need to do this, that, and the other, but I'll use that time for something even better, for something even deeper, using my hands. Chico Xavier himself, though an extraordinary medium, we've never heard of anybody on earth with so many books published, so many spirit authors. We've never heard that he was in his house all day long, psychographing and caring less for people. He would stand up every day and reach out physically. He would go visit people, pray with them, hug people, give donations, and spend hours psychographing also letters with his hands. You think his hands would be fine? Geraldo Lemos Neto, who is also a host at Kardec Radio, he said to us once that after so many hours giving donations to people, kissing people's hands, allowing people to shake his hand and kiss his hand would be swollen at the end of the day. That made him never stop. That never made him stop reaching out to people. He would heal and come back another day using his hands. Number 7, you say that the maintenance of our own existence on earth is sky high. But if you want, we will cultivate beans, rice, corn, or potatoes and enrich life. What is he saying? He's saying, well, if it's something is pricey, we can always simplify. But simplifying means sometimes instead of buying a meal somewhere else, we're going to cook at home to save some money. But we need to use our hands. That's just an example. 8, you're lamenting about the lack of employees. But don't forget that it is an insult to demand from others what we can do for ourselves. How often we are home and we want somebody to clean our home, to do laundry. Here's Andre Luiz saying. And then we say, oh, I can find somebody to help me out in that regard. It's so hard. Or I don't have the money to do that. So we're going to be grateful that we have physical resources to do it, because there are people in the hospital right now who would give everything to be home and to be cleaning their homes, to be fixing a meal, to do laundry, etc. Do we need that experience of the hospital to come back and stop taking for granted the phenomenal resources we have at hand? But Vanessa, I get so tired. I know people who do these things with the best of their hearts. They are so healthy because they do it with gratitude in their hearts. Number 9, you say you have no time to help others, but you spend long hours in conversations without any benefit. Remember that God did not entrust us the hands to you to be kept in your pocket or to be hung on windows and posts, armchairs, somewhere else. How many people do nothing? They sit down and chat with family members instead of doing something more useful. We need to discipline ourselves and maximize, this is the word, maximize the use of our physical body, being more effective in achieving this useful occupation of our time, not extenuating ourselves, but doing what we gotta do. Some people say, oh, I'm a little lazy and I don't like these repetitive tasks, as if they are a thing for inferior people. This is something we carry from many lives. We thought that work, physical work, manual work was something for the slaves. There are people to date in 2021 who feel inferiorized, who feel less because they are physically, they are using their body, in the sense the hands, their feet, to work. illuminated minds have been unearthed in these apparently simple tasks, and they are more elevated than many people who are sitting in offices managing a company. Number 10. On many occasions, you go out in sadness, discouragement, keeping your head like a pot of gall. But if you put our hands in the service of the good, we will lick your sorrows through sweat, and you will smile every moment, finding the joy of living in the form of new light. This was written in 1960 to 61. And it's fascinating because nowadays, science shows to us that a great way to deal with mental health is occupational therapy. And a great way to deal with depression is to sweat. But not only doing workouts, but reaching out in service to others. Some people come to me at my professional work and they say, "Oh, I'm depressed." Okay, let's serve others. Because you may be hydrating yourself enough, you may be eating the appropriate food, exercising, but if you're only thinking of yourself, there is no way to generate happiness. We are only happy when we generate happiness. So much wisdom, only the Spirit of truth. And of course, you may be asking, what am I going to do? What are we going to do as a collective exercise in the next 24 hours? We're going to do one more step than we usually do in our daily life. First of all, we're going to look at our hands at least once in the next 24 hours and say, "You are a blessing. Thank you for being with me," because this physical body is not us, it's with us. And I'm going to use you today to do something beautiful to bring joy to somebody. And then we're going to, for example, take our hand, go online, and donate to somebody. Or send an email with a beautiful message to somebody. We're going to type in with our hands. Or we're going to text a message through our phones to somebody saying, "I thought of you, I miss you, I pray for you, I support you," or "How can I help you?" We're going to use our hands to give some food to somebody who is in need, to give some clothes to somebody who is in need, or to an organization. We're going to use our hands and bless it and say, "Thank you. May God bless you. Thank you for being with me, dear hands. May God bless you. Thank you, dear hands, for being with me. May God bless you." We're going to bless our hands. We're going to thank our hands. And we're going to use it to do something good, to bring some joy to somebody in our lives, whether we know them or not, somebody who we become acquainted with. This is our exercise in this pleading of the hands, inspired in Andre Luiz, who got inspired by Kardec. And here we come in true gratitude for Andre Luiz, Waldo Vieira, Chico, Xavier, and all these wonderful spirits who inspire us today for a new beginning, new awareness in the use of the main gift that God gives us in our reincarnation, our physical body. We want to use our hands now to bless you, send you many blessings, and give you a hug as well. May you feel the warmth of this hug, warming your heart and feeling how much God loves you and you are cared for. We wish you many blessings, and until tomorrow, God willing, here at Cardiac Radio, friends. Thank you.